Oh my goodness, we got a lot of stuff going on during this NBA trade deadline. Whew. Giannis Antetokounmpo, is it time to find him a new home? Are the Lakers going to be out of the LeBron James sweepstakes going in the summertime? What other trade scenarios are going to be beneficial for the Los Angeles Lakers? And then, of course, the Lakers got an opportunity to go 4-1 on their 8-game road trip. Oh my goodness, isn't that a beautiful thing to say? We were all worried about them during this road trip, and there's been different signs of the Lakers that we thought was not a possibility. But man, there's a lot of stuff to get into, and I got to start off with all these different trade scenarios. Before we do any of that, got to talk about my beautiful friends at Pachanga Resort Casino. You can play your perfect combination at Pachanga Resort Casino, the official Native American resort and casino of the Los Angeles Lakers. Skip the traffic. Head on over to Pachanga Resort Casino just off the I-15 in Temecula. Visit pachanga.com or call 888-PACHANGA for reservations and for more information. So I was going to start off with the different trade scenarios, and I saw that there's two more names that the Lakers could possibly try to acquire during NBA trade deadline, but I'm going to save that for a little bit later on. Our good friend, Brian Windhorst, was on the Sedano and Cap morning show, and he had a lot of things to discuss in regards to LeBron James, his future with the Los Angeles Lakers, and obviously the big news that Shams Charania put out that Giannis Antetokounmpo is ready for a new home. He is ready for a new home, and at the trade deadline, there could be a possibility that he will be on a different team. We'll dive into that, but let's start off with Brian Windhorst and his comments in regards to LeBron James. So we know everyone is curious that if this is going to be LeBron James' final season with the Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron James has been playing really, really well for the Lakers, especially at his age of 41. He has done a tremendous job of still taking on that role of being the guy to close out games, doing the necessary things to help this Lakers team still win and contend, possibly in the Western Conference playoffs. Now the biggest question is he going to be with this Lakers team come the summertime? We already know how the Lakers' plan is already shaped up to build around Luka Doncic, to put the necessary players around him to build a complete team. Because you're going to need to, once again, put defending guys, athletic wings, and rim protecting lob threat big men around Luka Doncic. And essentially, most likely, I have a feeling that Austin Reeves is going to be back with the Lakers. So now you got to take that in consideration as well. But that is another topic to discuss. So with this LeBron James talk, the question was raised that, okay, there's reports coming out that LeBron James, could he possibly be finishing his career out in Cleveland? Okay, because Lakers obviously are playing against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And the possibility of that, of him being on a different team this summer, is likely. It's very, very likely. LeBron James, according to Brian Windhorst, and I'm paraphrasing here, is that he's most likely going to have to take a pay cut because just the market and how everything is. Cleveland, if he was to play with a team like the Cavaliers, they don't have that much leeway, that much money to be in the LeBron James sweepstakes. So for him, LeBron James, Brian Windhorst said it himself that he has always been a max player, always getting the most out of the max contract through this entire decade. So obviously, you look at his age now and you see where he is at. Is his game going to decrease? We're surprised it hasn't decreased at all. So the value of him is going to be a difference going into this summer. With this being said, he did not rule out that the Lakers and LeBron will not finish out his career with the Los Angeles Lakers. He said if that's actually one of the things that LeBron James would like to do is finish out his career with the Los Angeles Lakers. Brian Windhorst said that he actually wishes that Rob Pelinka and the Lakers front office actually go to LeBron James and present a plan that is in their their plan, and they want essentially what the front office is they want to work collaboratively with LeBron James. Hey, this is what our plan is. This is what we want to do. If you want to be a part of this, okay, we'll figure some things out. But if you prefer to play in a different destination, what are the things that we can do to help you out? He said that ideally in the perfect world, the best thing to do is communicate with LeBron. Make sure that he is ending his career, if next season is possibly his last season, and doing that to the best capability of making sure that you are doing every single thing necessary to put him in the right position to finish off his career at on a high note. Work together. Don't sit there and go into summer and free agency and don't communicate or don't put him in a business where it's difficult. No, work together. That is essentially what Brian Winters was getting at. The Rob Pelinka, LeBron James, is that they're going to have good talks this summer. The plan, the Lakers, you already know what their plan is going to be around Luka Doncic. We already know what their cap space is going to be going into this free agency, estimated around $50 million. They got to offload a lot of expiring contracts. They still got to decide whether what's going to be the market for Austin Reeves. But essentially, he did not rule out that LeBron James could finish his career off with the Los Angeles Lakers. Could he play for a team like the Cavaliers, who he started his career off with? Possibly. But the whole idea of this is that the Lakers present a plan. They communicate that with LeBron. They go over all that. And then make sure if does not want to be part of that plan, then that is okay. But make sure that you do a good enough job to where you send them off somewhere that every single thing could work. All right, we can provide you with these resources. We can do every single thing we can do to make sure that you end your career off at a high note. So, could there be a possibility that the Lakers and LeBron James are out of that, that business together? It's a possibility. Could we see him in a different uniform next season? Possibly, if it's that next season is his last. Possible. Is him finishing his career for the Lakers another thing that's possible? Yes. So that's what we all have to understand. But the biggest thing that he made in those comments with LeBron James this morning is that he wishes in the real world that Rob Pelinka and LeBron in the front office work together hand in hand to make sure they're doing what's best for his career. So then the quick transition into the Giannis Antetokounmpo and all that mess. As far as Giannis and Sean Ferrone putting this out this morning that two-time MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo is ready for a new home at the February 5th NBA trade deadline or in the offseason as several rival teams are going to make aggressive offers to Milwaukee Bucks for him. Honestly, just seeing what's been transpiring through this season for Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks. First off, when you see them getting rid of Damian Lillard and trading him off to the Portland Trailblazers, first off, Giannis was one of those that wanted Damian Lillard. Fortunate circumstances happened as far as his injury, and that Bucks team wasn't really healthy going into the playoffs last season. So you start to look at that, and then how they handle that business. And then Doc Rivers comes in the picture, and that necessarily has not been working out really, really well for the Milwaukee Bucks. There's frustration that is definitely brewing up that you can see. Post-game press conferences, they're asking Giannis, hey, is this where you want to be? Do you want to be in a Milwaukee Bucks uniform? Is this where you like to stay? And it started off with him, this is where I want to play. This is where I love being here. I feel like we have a good chance to make a run in the Eastern Conference. I will love to stay with the Milwaukee Bucks. And then as the season progresses, then it goes into, all right, I don't know. I'm gonna take it day by day. We'll see what happens. I don't know. And then him going into and saying that we're being selfish. We have selfish guys on this basketball team. We're not sharing the basketball together. Too many guys are worried about themselves and getting their own buckets. They're not playing together as a team. And then him doing the whole boo when the Milwaukee Bucks fan base is literally booing him in their homes, in their home arena. There is a lot of stuff that's going on. That's a perfect picture right there. Him just sitting there doing this, boo, after you got an and one layup. There's some stuff that is brewing up in the city of Milwaukee. There's a lot of stuff that has been brewing up with the Milwaukee Bucks. And so you ask, how does this tie in with the Lakers? Because everyone, as soon as they heard that there's a lot of teams that are definitely going to be into the Giannis Antetokounmpo sweepstakes. There's a lot of teams that are definitely going to want to buy in and see what they can offer to make sure they can get him. How can the Lakers do that? This is possibly a thing that is not going to happen during the trade deadline because what do the Lakers have to offer? They don't really have the necessary assets right now to possibly go out and get a guy like Giannis Antetokounmpo. They have that future unprotected first round pick, and then they got a couple expiring contracts. Okay, Brian Windhorst saying that the Milwaukee Bucks right now, he said it in the morning show, in the Sedano and Cat morning show, that the Milwaukee Bucks right now are in that scenario where they are possibly looking to tank. They're possibly looking to tank. I believe the New Orleans Pelicans owns one of their picks, and the New Orleans Pelicans are at that moment right now where they're probably going to be top 5 in the NBA lottery. The Bucks right now, if the season the way they're going, they're going to be top in the lottery. The Bucks are looking at possibly tanking this season, and that is the reason why you start to see Giannis coming out. And this is all me. This is now me talking about hypothetical situations. He gets that calf strain injury, saying that he's given his own timetable of how long he's going to be out for. And then now you see this, that just time for him to find a new home. It just all ties in together. Because now you see the Milwaukee Bucks and you hear the reports about them trying to tank. And you see them trying to offload of a lot of guys on that team. This is probably going to be a scenario. If the Lakers were to try to get into the Giannis Antetokounmpo sweepstakes, this might have to be a thing in the summer. If he is not traded during the NBA trade deadline. So how can the Lakers try to get into the sweepstakes? You heard it in the morning show, them talking about the same scenario, how Damian Lillard was able to get out of that situation where there's 5 different teams in that trade scenario, and you see a lot of other players getting offloaded and getting traded here and getting traded over there. That's possibly going to be a thing for the Milwaukee Bucks because there's a lot of teams trying to get in that sweepstakes. So if the Lakers could possibly do it in the trade deadline, who knows what they could acquire from other teams in that scenario if that's what big of a trade scenario is going to be. 4 to 5 different teams, we could possibly see the Lakers get into that sweepstakes, not necessarily acquiring Giannis if this is the trade during the deadline. We could possibly see the Lakers acquire some other assets from different teams to try to make a leap and a jump right now if the Lakers desperately feel like they have the right pieces to contend for a title. But you got to understand everything that they're going to be doing, and I'm fully believing that, is that they're going to be trying to make a trade that is along the time frame of Luka Doncic for the next foreseeable future. You got to make a trade if you are going to make sure that that individual or that player is obviously the right fit as far as defensive category, as far as getting out and being athletic and changing the way the Lakers play, and also being on the same timeline and time frame with Luka Doncic. So it's going to be really, really interesting. We got to dive in some more. I know, I got to take a little breath. Got to breathe. This stuff is getting me hyped. That NBA trade deadline is always something that is very, very high energy for me. But before I do any of that, get more into this, I got to let my partners at Pachanga give you guys a quick word.
At Pachanga Resort Casino, you can rock and roll, sip and slide, twist and shout. Play your perfect combination at Pachanga Resort Casino, official Indian gaming sponsor of the Lakers.
Woo! Tomorrow will legit mark. Actually, no. I think so. 1 week. We're 1 week away from the NBA trade deadline. We know how crazy last season was. I know there hasn't really been that much centered around different trades and different targets and different guys that can be on the move. But as the week approaches and as it gets closer to the trade deadline day, I'm guaranteed there's going to be a lot of moves. We're going to be like, wow, that really happened. And that's where we get into the Lakers because everyone is very curious on who can they acquire. Who are they going to get? Are they going to be patient, which I still believe they should do? Wait until the summer. Be able to have a proper plan and execution to put the right team and build the right team. But this Giannis thing is very interesting because if he was not to be traded during the trade deadline, the Lakers essentially will be able to have 3 picks available, not one, but excuse me, 3 picks. And there wasn't really much details when I was listening to the morning show with Brian Windhorst coming on and said that, yeah, the Lakers could possibly be waiting until the summertime to make a big splash or make a big move in the free agency during the summertime because they'll be able to have all the assets as far as picks, which a lot of teams are going to want, especially the future first round picks, all the different types of stuff to be able to get into the sweepstakes of Giannis if they're able to offload to some of those first round picks or whatever picks they have acquired enough to make the moves work. Because you look at, they showed their cards already. They already showed their cards and with Dalton Connect. And he, honestly, teams are probably not going to buy into him, especially what his value has been ever since that whole trade of Mark Williams went down. And then you look at what other assets Lakers have that they can offload from. Teams now are probably going to want to buy into Rui Hachimura, especially the way his value has been, especially the way he has been playing since he was returned back into the lineup. Look what he has been doing coming off the bench. And it's honestly helping the Lakers out, the stuff that he's doing coming off the bench. The scoring, he actually has been able to play better defense. The ball is in his hands a lot more because they need that production off the bench. So teams are looking at that. If Lakers were to try to do something during the trade deadline, they're going to probably call on Rui Hachimura. Hey, what is his is he available? I believe he's only going to be he's only making 18 million. He's an expiring contract. Teams who want to get offload of some of their salary cap, they could potentially want to get into the Rui Hachimura sweepstakes. And you ask, if you're the Lakers, you ask yourself, is that something that we want to do right now, especially for a guy who has bought into his role, a guy who is accepting and embracing all he wants to do is win. And not only is he embracing that role, he's doing a good job in that and playing well and only enhancing this Lakers team. So that's where things get interesting. So I believe that this Giannis Antetokounmpo trade scenario, I don't see it happening for the Lakers. And this is just me speaking. Once again, I don't see it happening during the trade deadline. If he were not to be traded, this is something that we can see in the summertime. Lakers try to get into business and try to see what they can do to acquire. If it's not him, other trade scenarios, because there's going to be a big team trade. There's going to be a lot of multiple teams in there. So that's probably a way for the Lakers to make a move and to try to get the necessary players around Luka Doncic and essentially Austin Reeves. But to continue this, and I'm gonna keep it rolling. I know it's the Lakers and Cavs today. There's no really. I was going to talk about a little bit about the Lakers and Cavs, but honestly, what the Lakers are at right now, just to keep it short and brief, the Cavs are hot. Donovan Mitchell was on a roll. The Lakers are probably going to be doing the same thing as far as what they did to Jamal Murray, as far as what they try to do to James Harden and Kawhi Leonard. Double those guys, make sure they get the ball up early. The Cavs are playing better basketball. They've been in and out of rotational guys. They've been injured. The injury bug has hit them really hard this season, but they have been playing better basketball. Lakers are also going to be doing better because Evan Mobley is out the lineup. So now there's a lot more scouting report. There's a lot more different things that Lakers can do as far as offensively. This is a game that Lakers can get. They just got to go out there, and it starts on the defensive end of the floor. So that's a quick breakdown. But I want to get into this article with Brad Turner and him discussing, can the Lakers make a move during the trade deadline? And who are some of the names that the Lakers have been attached to as potential trade targets? And there was 2 new ones that popped up. I discussed to you guys about the scenario about DeAndre Hunter, which he's been in and out of the rotation for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He could potentially be in the trade deadline target for other teams. There's a lot of teams that you see on – there's a lot of names you see on this list that Brad Turner wrote on the LA Times that they said in the morning show. A lot of teams are also going to be in the market of trying to acquire those same guys. So 2 new ones that popped up was Najee Marshall. That's another one that popped up, which I'm like, if you're the Lakers, do you really want to try to trade for someone like that? I know he played with Luka Doncic. I know he's very familiar with him. I know they worked hand in hand together. But if you're the Lakers, Do you make a trade really for Najee Marshall? No, don't do that right now. Not no disrespect to Najee Marshall, good player, plays hard on both ends of the basketball court, but that's not something that you offload of if it's a pick, a draft pick, or one of the guys on this rotation. No, not essentially something that you don't need right now. And then you go in, which this one really popped my eye open because I really, really love the way this guy plays. And that's Minnesota's guard, Dante DiVincenzo. I love the way DiVincenzo plays. I think he plays hard. He really, really guards the floor really, really well. I believe he's one of the most, I believe up there as far as like underrated players and their and what they do on the basketball court. I believe DiVincenzo is up there. He plays hard every single night and he creates problems because he can also shoot the three ball. He's really athletic, but he loves to exert most of his energy on the defensive end of the floor. There is times we see him picking guys at 94 feet, and he can also play in numerous ways. He likes to get out and run. He also, and as far as a big-point shooter, is he a knockdown three-point shooter? No, but you got to respect him. He's going to shoot that rock, and that could be a good asset for the Lakers. But you got to understand that there's a lot of other teams that are going to try to get into the business. I don't think the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to trade him. I would think that would be dumb on their part to trade DiVincenzo, especially how the Timberwolves have been playing this season. They've been playing a lot better. They started off slow, but they've been playing a lot better as the season progressed. And then you got the same ones. Keon Ellis for Sacramento Kings. You got Troy Murphy the third from the New Orleans Pelicans, and of course Herb Jones. I seen in reports already that the Pelicans are not willing to get off the Troy Murphy the third and Herb Jones. They're not willing to trade those guys. Could it happen during the trade deadline? Could it just be a bluff? Possibly. And then the Lakers, we have to go at this point. They don't have the right pieces. They don't have the right trade scenarios to acquire guys like that. They don't have enough draft picks. Remember, they only have one future unprotected first round pick that they can really offload of. Okay. And then the expiring contracts, I don't think no one wants Dalton Connect. I don't think no one wants to get in with the Gabe Vincent business. Their teams are going to look at if the Lakers do make a trade in this trade deadline, they're going to want Rui Hachimura and they're going to want one of their picks. Gabe Vincent, we're seeing his minutes decrease as the season goes on. Why would other teams want to try to acquire Gabe Vincent? And I know Jared Vanderbilt's popped up right there. I don't think the Lakers are going to be willing to trade Vanderbilt right now. I think he's done a great job in his role with the Lakers. I know I was very, very skeptical of him because of what he doesn't provide offensively enough. However, he has been playing fantastic basketball. But I just look at these different trade scenarios and you see what they have. And Rui Hachimura and his expiring $18 million contract is a name that comes up a lot, I believe, with other teams around the NBA. Najee Marshall, no. Dante DiVincenzo, I don't believe the Timberwolves are going to be really ready to trade him. Then you look at Keon Ellis. What are the Sacramento Kings going to ask? I know Keon Ellis has not been playing that much minutes. I keep saying it again, the Sacramento Kings, the way that roster is constructed is very, very confusing. They got like 5 guards on that team with Westbrook, with Dennis Schroeder, with Keon Ellis, with Malik Monk, Zach LaVine. It's like that Kings roster is not constructed whatsoever. And that is the reason why Keon Ellis' names gets popped up because you look at the Kings are not going to trade Westbrook. The Kings are not going to trade Malik Monk. They're not. They just gave Dennis Schroeder they signed him to a 3-year, I believe, like $40 million contract. So there's no need to entertain that. Keon Ellis is a name because of his value. Yes, he has high value, but he's not playing. So that's why his name has been popping up. But then you got to think to yourself, is that really worth another unprotected first-round pick and a couple of guys? And if they were to able to get out of Dalton Connect and maybe a second-rounder, cool. We've seen those Lakers show their cards last year in the deadline. We understand what happened. But I feel like teams are going to be out of trying to make a deal with the Lakers because of what they saw last season and how in the hell did they acquire Luka Doncic? And I know that was in the hands of Nico Harrison pretty much saying, here you go. We don't believe in Luka Doncic. We're not going to extend him. We don't see him in our future. I understand all that happened. But you think teams are really going to want to make a deal with the Lakers that easily just like that? No. They're going to want to get the most out of their draft picks, which the Lakers are trying not to offload. I'm going to keep on standing on this business. Do not make any move during the trade deadline. Stay put. Ride this season out. You have upcoming estimated $50 million in cap space. You're going to be offloading some of these expiring contracts. Who knows what the LeBron James sweepstakes is going to be going into the summertime? Could he possibly return to the Lakers? Yes. Could he be on a different roster in a different uniform? Yes. Is there going to be a talk with the Lakers as far as, hey, we want to try to maximize this team? Could he be willing to take a little bit of a pay cut knowing that he's been a max player for a decade? Yes. Who knows what these different scenarios are going to be? But the most realistic and the most ideal situation for the Lakers, with all these different names popping up, I don't believe that can really turn this team into championship contending teams. I don't really see them beating the Oklahoma City Thunder in a 7-game series. I do see them competing against the San Antonio Spurs. I do believe they can beat them in a 7-game series. I just don't see them beating a team highly caliber like the Oklahoma City Thunder. So if you really think about that, why make a move to possibly be an early exit? Just be patient. Stand pat. You have a plan. Build on that plan as the summer approaches. As of right now, keep on doing the things you're doing. Keep on playing good basketball. Who knows what could happen? But all I know is I'm going to keep on standing on it. Just be patient. But let me know what you guys feel. You guys can tweet at us, tweet at me, or in the YouTube chat. Go ahead and see if you guys feel like any of these different trade names, if you guys believe that those are good, let us know. Let us know if you think any of those trade names could be a good help for the Lakers this season. Or if you guys are like with me and a lot of guys, is just stay patient going into the summertime. But Lakers got a good chance to go 4-1 on the road trip. They got the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight. It's going to be another good test for the Lakers. It's going to be another one to see where they are at, especially against a team like the Cavaliers, who has been playing better basketball. But for me, and my guy Parker Bell back there, who was unable to join us today, but hopefully he is back with us coming tomorrow. But as always, appreciate you guys tuning in. We are out.